Hello everyone, in this video we're going to be taking a look at an article from the Daily Caller written by Neil Patel. It's an opinion piece that was published on December 15th. Harlem shook. Google is using its immense power to censor content that doesn't fit its political goals. Everyone in America should be concerned about that. Now, I kind of got a kick out of this because what YouTube censored? Oh, is nothing even remotely offensive, okay? It's Ajit Pai, the FCC chairman, in a Santa outfit and a couple other things like him playing with a dog. This was so triggering and offensive to someone on the left that YouTube actually censored it. I mean, that's some priceless... that is some serious priceless shit there. Anyway, let's get into this here. The Daily Caller released a funny video Tuesday of FCC Chairman Ajit Pai defending the Commission's upcoming net neutrality rollback. Through Wednesday and Thursday, liberals and others who dislike Pai's political position lost their minds. And by Friday morning, Google, one of the most powerful companies on the planet, had censored the video based on a bogus claim from a politically motivated man. And you know, when it comes to, say, review of it, or even like, you know, not necessarily like even review, but a big channel, I'm sure a claim against them has at least someone take a look at it. Okay, not a small channel, I'm sure that's more automated. But if they get a flag from a big channel, I wouldn't be surprised if someone takes a look at it, especially if they appeal it. So, you know someone at Google had to physically take a look at this video. Yet, they were siding with the false complaint. I mean, this is funny. It took 7 crucial hours and the full force of our news site to push Google and YouTube to reverse this political censorship. We were able to prevail because of the sizable contacts and resources of the Daily Caller. An average citizen showcasing a political viewpoint Google and the left disagreed with would almost certainly have a far more difficult and fruitless time fighting back. Well, of course. See, that's what's funny. They actually thought that they could silence the Daily Caller. It's not like they're trying to silence me with my, you know, a little over 40 users, okay, on YouTube. Which, considering on other smaller platforms, I have, with less rigged algorithms, or not even rigged, you know, with them, I'm having way more traction than I am on YouTube, which is kind of funny. So I honestly believe, looking at me on other platforms having growth like I am, that I think YouTube, because of, say, my content, like whatever it finds in it through reviewing the video, you know, through an algorithm, or my tags, I think things have been stacked against me on the site. But, yeah, they can do that to me. They can't do that to, say, the Daily Caller or Steven Crowder or, you know, the Rubin Report. They can't. I mean, they tried it with Jordan Peterson and failed. You know, but that isn't going to stop them from getting away with it when they do it to the small people. At the Daily Caller, we knew that releasing a video of Pai fidget spinning in a Santa suit, swinging lightsabers, and playing with a puppy a day before the FCC's net neutrality vote would ruffle some feathers. Totally benign acts. And they're very, very right. That's that's something that definitely would ruffle the feathers of people like on the left, these Marxist morons that talk about free speech, but at the same time are trying to stop anyone right of Marx from speaking. Oh, God. We were prepared for the hyperventilating over the video to reach a fever pitch as the Obama-era internet regulations were rolled back Thursday afternoon. Indeed, the video was viewed millions of times over a 24-hour period, was featured in a broad spectrum of news mediums, and spawned an avalanche of memes on Reddit. Yeah. And it took one triggered individual to have Google censor it. You gotta love that one. In producing the video, we never advocated for Pi or the new net neutrality regulations, and you should check out our in-depth interview with him here on Race and Internet. The video was meant to tell Pi's version of the net neutrality battle in a non-traditional, non-linear way. Unfortunately, the seething outrage over the net neutrality issue poisoned the well far beyond critics' ability to appreciate parody. The video and those featured in it were viciously attacked. The likes to dislikes were comically ratioed 5,000 to 144,000 at last count. That's a lot of triggered fucking people. Wow. And the funny thing is here we are a day later after they repealed Title II. I will never call it net neutrality unless I'm, say, reading from an article, because it is Title II, okay? People need to go and take a look at the Telecommunications Act of 1934 and it being amended with the Telecommunications Act of 1996. Because all regulation leading up to the Telecommunications Act of 1934. Now, look at the year on that, 34. Internet, you know, 3/4 of a century later, not exactly written. Okay, 1996, internet was not really a thing. Not, you know, with the Telecommunications Act of 1996. Not really written for the internet. What they were written for, anyone who was alive during the days of Ma Bell AT&T will tell you, was it was written to ensure that companies like, you know, for example, in particular, I mean, it's been expanded to multiple companies like internet providers, because if they tell you that they don't, like the large internet providers, like say Comcast, Google with their fiber, why do you think they're for net neutrality? Because the thing is it's about being these providers, okay, being in bed with the government, rigging everything in their favor. That's literally the history of the Telecommunications Act of 1934 and the other acts that led up to it, because telecommunications was put under different departments until the FCC was founded. And each time they enacted an act to quote-unquote regulate, okay, it was more so to ensure the power of Ma Bell AT&T, because this concept was pushed, that's called natural monopoly. And without even controlling half of the telephone systems in the country, AT&T and members of the government colluded and convinced others that they were a natural monopoly and they therefore should have full control of pretty much the whole phone system. There were some small companies, but this was designed to hold them down and stop them from being able to expand and compete. Which is what you want. I mean, why do you think we have so many different cell providers and the shit's cheap? Competition. Oh, well, some people only have one choice. The reason why they have one choice is regulation. Because it's hard for, say, a small company to come into a community and lay the infrastructure that's necessary. When you have a high regulation cost, it's a high cost to enter. Low regulation cost, it's a lower cost to enter. You want cheaper internet. You want faster internet. You want better internet. Title II isn't the way to go. You want a free internet, an open one. Title II isn't the way to go. Yet everyone's freaking out that it's been rolled back to where The internet's put back under the control of the Federal Trade Commission, which has more than enough power and capability to control it. They were the ones that did it prior to 2015, and everything worked fucking beautifully. So to see this thing here where you have a dislike ratio like this goes to show how many people got their panties in a bunch. I mean, look at this. Then, as the left often does with the content that offends them, they started a campaign to strip the video from the internet. This happened to us without warning on YouTube Friday morning. Our Pai video was removed because of copyright claim for, wait for it, the Harlem Shake. Oh my God. The Harlem Shake is an embarrassingly outdated internet trope that peaked in popularity approximately 4 years ago, like much of the content in the video. It was there to make a point in a funny way. A simple search on YouTube shows over 7 million videos using long segments of the song with billions upon billions of total views. Our video used only a few seconds of the song and was not monetized. We were not making profit from this silly rendition of the FCC chairman dancing to a few seconds of a song uploaded to the internet millions of times. Oh, so a false copyright claim. You gotta love that. This is hilarious. It goes to show that Google, they don't give a shit about copyright claim unless it's even a legitimate or otherwise. Okay, like unless it's like a big corporation or it's something that they can use to go after something that they don't like. That's the only time they care about copyright claims. Because it featured a Republican against net neutrality, however, the triggering began. The song is owned and licensed by record label Mad Decent, who demanded the platform remove the video, not because anyone was making profit off their work, but because they openly disagreed with the political worldview of the man dancing to it. Oh. Bauer, the DJ who created the song, openly admitted on Twitter that he was targeting our video because he doesn't like its political message. He called Pai a loser and said, "I support net neutrality like the vast majority of this country, and I'm appalled to be associated with its repeal in any way." Sick. Well, the funny thing is this little moron doesn't understand all that BS that he was told about how there are all these fake comments on the FCC petition. Basically, they were for net neutrality. This came out. So I hate to break it to you, it isn't the overwhelming majority of Americans are for it. Not when the overwhelming majority of the people who said that they're for net neutrality are fucking bots. Don't work like that. His sudden concern for copyright law is even more laughable, considering he created Harlem Shake by sampling another artist's vocals without permission, which itself is a fair use. You gotta love the hypocrisy. YouTube, a Google-owned company who supports net neutrality, willingly complied with Mad Dissent's request. This is not in any way standard practice for the platform, which thrives because its creators liberally flex fair use content. Fair use, defined by Stanford law, is the use of copyright material to comment upon, criticize, or parody a copyrighted work. Now let's look at the definition they put up here. Fair use is any copying of copyrighted material done for a limited and transformative purpose, such as comment upon, criticize, parody a copyrighted work. Such uses can be done without permission from the copyright owner. In other words, fair use is a defense against a claim of copyright infringement. If your use qualifies as fair use, then it will not be considered an infringement. I think that's pretty basic. Yet, this guy don't even understand that. Well, also, when he's sampling someone and not... Yeah, That's funny. The FCC chairman dancing with a lightsaber to the Harlem Shake is an obvious parody. What's more, the entire video and the very short clip of the song where there is commentary on the whole network neutrality debate. This is as open and shut a case of fair use as has ever existed. I would agree. Yet, this was a major friggin' issue for this triggered little leftist. God, what you would think an artist would understand the concept of fair use when they're literally taking samples of other people and using them in their work. As soon as we discovered that the Daily Caller's video had been removed, our chief operations officer reached out to Google for answers. The video was restored after approximately 7 important hours down. Getting Google to treat content fairly shouldn't require being a company with the size and influence of the Daily Caller. And it really shouldn't. Okay? If Google is going to put their product out there for people to put content on, so that they have a product with that to offer individuals, then the people who are creating content, regardless if they're my size or if they're the size of the Daily Caller or if they're the size of PewDiePie, does not matter. They should have access to at least someone through email, okay, whether this person handles multiple YouTube accounts, whatever. But they should have access to someone that when the shit hits the fan and they're getting false flagged like this, they have an actual person involved. Because the problem with the YouTube system is, unless you're a big creator, you don't have that means to get around the automated system. And usually the automated system kicks things back and goes, oh yeah, you're in the wrong. Deal with it. And that's not how things should be. The network neutrality debate over whether the large internet providers will discriminate based on their commercial or political interests is raging in America. It's a good debate to have, and it is. And the same debate should be had about Google, okay, about Facebook, about Twitter, and any company that is under their umbrella. Okay, so like we'll say with Google, Alphabet. So YouTube, Google, whatever. Oculus, all of it should be held to the same exact type of standard. If they're going to be involved in the internet, okay, whether it's allowing people to have access to content. I mean, I think Crowder summed it up best. That, if you want neutrality, if they're going to discriminate against a particular group or whatever, they should have to be transparent about it. So, yes, we're going to discriminate against conservatives, for example, like with the note of Google, or anyone right of Marx. Well, then they should have a disclaimer that says, yes, we discriminate against anyone right of Marx. That's simple. I mean, truth in advertising. If you're going to sell yourself as a platform where anyone can create content, upload it, okay, bust their ass, and if they do so and they make content that people want, can be a success and make a go of it. If you're going to sell yourself as a platform to do that, then you should be transparent in your practices. It's that simple. While we are debating, however, excuse me, Google is quietly and arbitrarily using its massive power to censor the internet. Exactly. YouTube's targeting of Daily Caller's content and its willingness to remove our video for political purposes, while millions of other uses are allowed to remain on the platform, should stand as a terrifying prospect for every American. It follows a disturbing trend of platforms and networks devaluing and restricting content based on political viewpoints. Exactly. And that's what I'm getting at. If they're going to allow for censorship of content that goes against their leftist ideals, goes against some leftist that false flags, okay, that doesn't have a right to file a copyright claim when it's clearly fair use. They should be transparent about where they stand on things. That's the bottom line. Anyway, I think I've covered this well enough, so I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.